So look, we've talked about self-fulfilling prophecies. We've talked about what that is. Now let's get into this concept called micro-behaviors. So, we talked about subcommunication. And that's like those really subtle things. So for example, we talk about eye contact. We talk about body language. Now when you're thinking about subcommunication, a lot of it is very obvious. A lot of you guys here can point out the most basic ideas behind subcommunication. But even beyond that, we can even go, like take a microscope and go even more deeply in when we're looking at the little micro behaviors that you have. All right? And these are like, these are just extremely, extremely subtle, okay? So an example of something like, a micro behavior would be like the dilation in your pupils, all right? Has anybody here ever been talking to a girl and you're very much in state, the nimbus is burning, and then suddenly she hits you with something, and suddenly you just lose state, and you can almost see that she can see in your eyes that you lost state, and she just goes, "You're done." Yes. You guys ever had that?
Yes.
I've had girls say that to me before. Like when I lost state, she just goes, "You're done." And I'm like, "Yep. Nice to meet you." Okay? You guys, okay? All right? I've experienced that. And that's like, now look, I also had a guy who then, because Ozzy, who teaches the boot camps in London, he's also kind of mad at me for teaching this, because he had a guy in boot camp who was like, this guy was from South America, he's like, "Ozzy," he's like, "have you been checking my pupils?" Like Tyler said. All right? And Ozzy's like, "You bastard, stop teaching that shit." All right? Because I don't want to make you guys paranoid, like, "Are my pupils dilated?" All right? Okay? I'm not saying to start thinking like that. Good God. All right? If you would just start thinking like that, that would be utterly ridiculous. I'm not promoting that. But what I'm saying is that as an idea of like a micro behavior, when you can look a girl right in the eyes and your eyes hold steady, it shows that you're not running through images in your mind. All right? Going back into your head. That's an example of a micro behavior. Now look, you cannot consciously manipulate all these, can you? Look, subcommunication you could probably consciously manipulate. You could be like, okay, step 1, have good eye contact. Step 2, loose body language. Step 3, nice resonating voice, right? Step 4, lead. You can do all of that stuff. Really, I mean, if you just read it over like a couple times, you can go out and you can do it. And in fact, I recommend as a newbie, you've got to do that. But again, we're talking on an advanced level here. Like if we want to go to an advanced level, the little micro behaviors that you have, you can never consciously understand all of them. Like, I bet that a lot of you guys were hoping that I was going to start writing out a list of the micro behaviors, right? Like, micro behavior this, manipulate this in yourself, change this in yourself. But that's not what it is. All these little micro behaviors that you have, you can never totally understand all of them. And you don't need to understand all of them. And in fact, there is no use, practical or probably even scientific, for understanding all of them. It's just completely not a useful piece of knowledge. But look, when you're speaking to the girl, there are those little micro behaviors, little subtle things like if she moves over here, are you kind of a little too eager to go over there, or are you kind of just chill, right? And it sounds, where does all this stuff flow from? Your state. It flows from within. All right? And when you are flowing, this handles all of that for you. And that's why you see the attraction happening quickly. This industry, from an outsider's perspective, if you were to look at the success with women industry, would you not agree that it has the word scam written all over it? You guys ever seen penis pills? Is there not a lot in common with this industry and penis pills? Right? Think about it. Like from an outsider's perspective, looking in, it's like, okay, so you're telling me that you're going to take some like out of shape, not good looking, nerdy guy, and you're going to like, as is claimed, you're going to teach him how to date like supermodels and shit. What does that look like? How could that possibly sound real? Right? It sounds bizarre.
It's like a magic pill mentality.
Magic pill mentality. You know what it looks like? You ever see those ab flex commercials? Right? Ab machine commercials? Where it's like, you're going to lose 30 pounds in a month. And it's like some guy who's like really overweight, but he's going to have like flabby arms, flabby legs, but he's going to have like washboard abs among that. Right? Like, and that's the kind of magic pill stuff that gets peddled in the market these days. Right? And so from an outside, it looks almost bizarre. So it's like, how is it that some of the guys you've seen, because some of the, like, for example, some of the instructors with RSD are like 5'4". You guys know Christoph? Yeah. Right? How tall?
Yeah.
5'4", right? Okay. With the shoes, he's like 5'5". All right. Okay. And how smooth?
Awesome.
How awesome?
Really awesome.
Really awesome, right? Okay. How about Hoobie? You guys saw Hoobie on Transformations? How tall is he? 3'7", right? Okay. And so it's like, from an outsider's perspective, how could that guy be successful? It's just too weird, right? It's too much. So we say, how is it that these guys are doing this? Like, what is causing it to do this? Well, again, there is that kind of like, scientific basis behind it, right? The whole value thing, and when you feel good about yourself inside, it reflects all these other positive things about you, and that's how it works, all right? So the thing is, all these like insane success stories, like look, when you're out on a workshop and you see your instructor who seems very similar to you, and he's able to go up to women and just spark this incredible attraction or get a makeout really quickly, and you're seeing that going on, and it's like, well, how's he doing this? Does he have some kind of ability that I don't have? Is he cut from a different cloth than you? That's what's going to start going through your head, especially when you're seeing a guy who's having whether it's an instructor or whoever it is, you're seeing a guy having a really on night. The feeling is, this guy's cut from a different cloth than me. That's how you'll feel. Why is that happening? It's all those unconscious little micro behaviors that are creating the attraction in the woman. You don't need to understand them. You don't need to know how to manipulate them in yourself. That's completely useless. All that you need to know is what? How to flow. All right?
Be congruent.
Congruence.
It's magic.
It is magic, man. All right, so how about this? You pull a girl over to you. Here's a great one. Let's say that you pull a girl over to you. Let's say that a girl's walking by. Okay, hop up for me. We showed this before. Let's say that a girl is walking by, just walk by, and you go, hey, who are you? Like that, okay? Okay, now have a seat. What will happen if even for 1 second you doubt yourself? What's she going to say?
She won't respond. Or she'll be like, whoa.
She'll be like, whoa, what are you doing? Like, get off, whoa, right? Has anyone here ever done that with a full level of belief? Then what happens? She goes like this. Like that, right? In fact, it's almost so addictive that I remember at one point I even started going like I'd pull the girl over, I'd talk to her for a second, and then I'd take a step back and I'd go like that, and then I'd take a step back and go like that, take a step back and go like that, and I'd do it about every 40 seconds because it was so funny, because every time you pull her over, she's like that, right? Like you can see it, like you're talking, she's like and then you pull her like that, right? And then because it comes from that full belief. All right? When a woman feels a man that has full belief in what he's doing, that's very attractive. The thing is, not for newbies. Don't try this at home. Professionals only, because if you do that, you could get it, you will get slapped. All right? You will get people pissed, and maybe even bigger problems than that. But that's an amazing thing. How about when you ask for a phone number? Have you ever been talking to a girl and you're speaking with her, and then it's going really well and you think maybe I should get the phone number, and then you doubt yourself as you go to get it, right? What happens? She just doesn't do it, right? And it's funny, you can see the woman's response. She's totally into you, she's having fun, and then you're like, should I ask for the phone number? Could I get your phone number? And she's like, no, right? She just says no, and she doesn't even know why she said no. Like if you ask her, why did you say no? She doesn't know why. She's like, I don't know, I didn't want to, right? Because that's her instinct. It's like if you say, hey, here, let's go to this restaurant, right? Like say like the club is ending, it's like 2 a.m., club is shutting down, if you're on the West Coast, 2 a.m., East Coast, 5 a.m., all right? So you say, hey, let's get out of here. If you're like, so do you want to go to this place? And you're doubting yourself, again, she'll probably say no. How about this? You know a great one? Let's say you're going to IHOP. IHOP! We're going to IHOP! Let's go, right? And it's even like, here, this guy's just getting abused this weekend. All right, okay. All right, so look, and it's almost like this. Like you can even, it's like, let's go. Like that. Do you guys see that? Watch this, okay? Watch this again, okay? All right, look, okay, he's being abused. This is a cool man right here, okay? All right, okay? Now look, okay? Thank you, okay? Because he got showed in the camera. All right, okay, so look. It's the same kind of thing. Here, come on, let's go. Let's go. Good, boom. Isn't it sexy? All right. How about this, okay? Same kind of thing. Hey, let's go. Okay? Same kind of thing, all right? Have a seat. Okay, thanks for getting showed again. So, okay, thank you. All right. So basically, I should get you because you got on transformations by Tim. All right, so basically, when you have that kind of belief, again, it's just going to happen. And that kind of belief, that kind of self-fulfilling prophecy, that kind of those anticipated responses are what make you really, really, really good at this. All right? It's that level of belief. It has to go from point A to point B. When you go to open, it's the same kind of thing, right? Say that you're going to ask a girl for her opinion, as an example. You walk by, hey, I need an opinion, right? What are you doing? You're fully assuming that she's going to answer your question. You're fully assuming it. If it's like, could I have it? She's like, no. All right? Look, it doesn't mean the girls are always going to say no when you don't have full belief. Sometimes they say yes. And sometimes when you have full belief, they say no. All right? There's no 100% system. We're talking like in that sort of 75% range of what tends to be the case. Anyway, this has to go from the open all the way out to the close. But look, let's get even freakier. All right? Let's get even weirder. You guys want to talk weird? Yeah! All right, okay. Let's say that you, okay, as a boot camp instructor, I do this all the time. I'll say to a guy, look, tell her this story, just an example. Tell her this story. And he'll go up and he'll be like, oh, blah, 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 and he doesn't believe in it, right? And then I'll say it right in front of him, he goes, no, dude, hold up. All right. And then I'll start telling the identical story that he just told. Identical. He just told it. All right? And this, I'm not even talking like the girl knows that, no, let me tell it. Like, I'm not even talking like that, because that would make sense, right? I'm talking like I'll start telling the story as if I think that he didn't just tell it, completely ignoring how weird that is, all right? And I'll tell it, and right where I expect the people to laugh, they laugh. Right where I expect the people to go, they go, right? Everything that I'm anticipating, they'll do. In fact, when you're telling the story, okay, you go up and you tell the funny part, and you're like, that is so funny, right? And you have that vibe. Like, you can do that to a girl. On the spots on the story that you want her to laugh, you can make her laugh just by believing that she's going to laugh. Has anyone here ever noticed that? You can make her laugh at the spots that you believe it. It's like this vibe. It's just like, like, you just look at her, and so for example, it's like, isn't that crazy? And she's like, ha, right? And just immediately starts laughing. It's that same anticipated response, okay? So you can tell the exact same story, and the girls will act as if they're hearing it for the first time. Why? Because you're expecting them to act as if they're hearing it for the first time. How do you do that? If you go into your mind and you're like, whoa, dude, this is so weird that I'm telling the same story that I just told a second ago. If you do that in your head, then what are the girls going to say?
It's weird.
He just said that. Why are you saying that again? But if in your mind, remember how we talked about being in the moment? Well, this is why being in the moment is one of the most foundational pieces of being a master at this, like reaching that like extreme Jedi level. Because basically you just go into the moment, you're like, I'm in the moment now, so I'm not thinking. But you're not even thinking that, you just understand it. All right? And then you just start spitting the story. And it works. Now let's get even kind of weirder than that. What if the girls are on the dance floor? The girls are all dancing on the dance floor in some big mosh pit. What do most guys try and do when they approach a girl on the dance floor? Grind. Try to grind, okay? Okay, like that. All right? Some guys do it really well, some guys don't. Ozzy, if any of you guys have ever been out with Ozzy, he does it amazingly well. It is incredible. But most guys will do that ineffectively because they're like hoping for her to dance with them. One thing that I realized was that you can actually go up right when they're on the dance floor, walk up, just stroll on over, not even dancing, tap, tap, ask a question about something, whatever, and just talk as if it's not a dance floor. How interesting is that? Like, you can talk as if it's not a dance floor, and and you'll see it. They're like, do. Like that, right? And they start talking. They literally just start talking. In fact, if you're concerned that it's too loud, like say it's too loud on the dance floor, well then obviously she'll be like, oh, it's too loud, right? But if you just block that out of your head and you just start, you're just like let's get even kind of more advanced and more weird here. If you're just like, blah, 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 and you can't even hear yourself talking, right? You just talk. what she'll immediately do is go, what? What? Like that. And she'll start trying to hear you, even though that's unusual. Okay? So basically, what are you doing here? You're creating this like very bizarre self-fulfilling prophecy.
So you really don't need this match or higher energy level anymore.
Okay. Do you guys hear what he just said there? He says you don't necessarily need to match your energy level. It depends. Really great question there. Okay, and again, these are like the advanced sort of esoteric concepts of picking up girls. One concept in terms of pickup is you want to be on, say that the group has a certain energy level, and you want to either match it or go a little bit above it. Why do we do that?
Because they want to go towards higher energy.
Yeah, they want more value offered rather than less. Let's get into kind of like a funny one there. And again, these are like the really, you don't need to know this stuff to be successful with women at all. You can be massively successful without it, but we're just going advanced here for the people that want to go advanced. So look, when you have the full nimbus, right, like you are really, really centered and your reality is just on, all right? You're really in the moment, really on. You could just walk up and they're all like, right? You know when girls are just going nuts? Yeah. And when you're really on, you could just kind of walk up and just be like, you know, hey, right? And if they're like, and you're just like, and you just keep moving forward and you'll immediately see it. They're like, hey. Like that. You can see it. Like you can immediately calm them down. You can also go, hey. Like that. It's okay, right? And they calm down. Other times, though, if you're not that on, then what you can do is you can go in at a little bit higher energy level, and then you can ease it down. How do you do that? You guys, if you've seen on the Jeffy Show, match the rhythm, right? Match it, and then lead the rhythm, right? So you go up, you know, at their energy level a little bit higher, and then you can ease it down. Almost like an airplane pilot, you can up the energy level or you can ease the energy level back down. Okay, you can do both. However, when you're really on, like I said, you can just walk up at whatever energy level you want and people will start to match you. Kind of fascinating stuff. This is sort of the kind of stuff that has kept me going out all these years, why I'm still so fascinated with this stuff, because it's such a hobby for me. Oh my God, here's the last one. Oh my God. This is such an ego trip. It's not even funny. This is such a power trip. And you can start to feel like some kind of superhero when you know how to do this. What's funny, say that you see a couple guys talking to a group of girls. A lot of the time it's their friends, right? That's cool. But a lot of the times it's just players trying to pick them up. If you just sort of walk up, I've had times where like I've seen you can just walk up, and when you're really on, and I'm talking on, you just walk right up like this. Notice how I'm looking straight. Do you guys see what I'm doing here? I'm looking. Do you guys see that? I'm not like this, right? I'm not like, okay, here's these guys that I have to engage, well, like that, right? I'm literally, it's like Moses parting the Red Seas, right? Okay? It's like this. When you're on, right? And then you just go like that to the guys. And you'll see the two guys like that, right? Like they're like that. And you'll see it, okay? You'll see that kind of thing. You just sort of, because you're on. Look, this doesn't happen from a stop point, right? You have to have momentum. I'm talking when you have like an insane amount of momentum. Don't come on my boot camp and we're just kind of sitting at a table and go, hey, Tyler, let's see you part the Red Seas. All right? I'm like, ugh, right? I'm talking when you're on, okay? You can't be thinking about it. You cannot be thinking about like, I remember that program that I saw where I did. I'm talking when you're on. And you're like, yeah, right? You're on. You walk over, hey, like this, okay? Do you guys see what I'm doing here? You're on. And people just go like that. Have you guys ever not been at the gym walking towards the water fountain after an intense set and people jump out of your way? Oh, yeah. Right? Because you're more right? You're sitting there. You're racking more weights on the bench press. Maybe you just hit some new weight or new rep range, right? Whoa, whew, right? You're going to get some water, getting some water like this, and then the person's like that, right? And you're like, whoa, sorry, I was just in the zone. I apologize. Here, it's okay. Take your water, dude. Right? Everyone here, or at least a few people in here have had that? Okay. Yeah, stronger reality. It's the exact same thing, right? I can remember, and I've even seen situations, if you want to talk real advanced, and again, don't come to my boot camp and say, let's see you do that part the Red Seas. Okay, don't ask me that, all right? Okay? Because, when I talk about this kind of stuff, instructors hate me. The instructors call me up bitching at me because they're like, I had an amazing night, but the student just wouldn't shut up about that Red Seas thing. All right, okay? So the thing is, like, all right, if it happens, it happens. These are the moments of glory that happen once a week, once a month, that kind of thing, okay? It's not something that you can do reliably. But I just want you guys to recognize the phenomenon and what's at work here. When you're really on, like I remember one night, I see one girl surrounded by 10 guys, okay? And I was just totally on. What does totally on mean? I'm not going, I'm on. All right? I'm not like, I think I'm in state. If you're saying, I think I'm in state, what are you doing?
You're not in state.
You're not in state, right? Okay? I just on. I didn't think about it. I just did it. I walked up, and I walked through the group. I was looking right at the girl, and a group of about 8, 10 guys just disperse. Okay? I walk up. Now, as that happens, what happens with the reticular activation system? Where am I in those guys' reticular activation system? Boom. Right? All on. So I go like this. Now, as I walk through and the guys jump apart, is the girl seeing the guys reacting to me?
Yes.
Or is she seeing that all the reticular activation's lighting up? So what's happening to her? It's like insane attraction. And I just walk up and I just put my hands out. Like that, okay? I'm like, you are such a pimp. You've got 10 guys here with you. That's very interesting. Right? See what I'm doing here? Okay? And you'll see it. She's like, okay, you'll see that same kind of thing. All right? Same kind of thing. It's glorious. All right? And it can make you start to think you're like a superhero when you do this kind of thing, right? Do you want to know the problem with that, though? You'll go home that night and you're like, I am the man. I dominated. I'm the shit, right? And then the next day, you're like, God, I'm fucking glorious. God damn, right? And then you go out that night and you're like, am I still glorious? Right? Okay? And then you're like, I'm gonna part the Red Seas again, right? And you see those guys, right? And you're like, yeah, let's part the Red Seas, right? And you're like,